Many of us are stuck in patterns that simply don't serve us, and they're fueling our suffering. They're draining our energy. And we're stuck in these patterns in this sort of very autopilot and mechanical like fashion. We're not really living life consciously. We're not really engaged with life. We don't feel a sense of love for life. We don't feel deeply connected to life. We feel disconnected. We feel numb. We feel dull. We don't feel like we're really getting what we need. We're not even very sensitive to our needs. We're not very aware of our needs. And there's a lot of pain that simply comes with that. So in order to actually start healing from a lot of this pain that you experience as a byproduct of just being in patterns that don't serve you, you need to make your unconscious suffering conscious. Why is it so easy to not put your hand on that hot stove or to jam your thumb in your eye? Because it's painful and you don't like the experience of pain. It's really easy to not repeatedly poke yourself in the eye because it's so uncomfortable. A lot of our patterns are actually the byproducts of various forms of emotional confusion. We think that a pattern will bring us happiness and pleasure, but it's actually suffering, like smoking or junk food or watching a lot of pornography. I don't even know if I can say that word on YouTube anymore. Or just endless watching TV, endless scrolling on Instagram, right? And we think it's going to give us pleasure, and it does for a brief second. But immediately after we're done, we're actually numb, we're dull. We feel horrible after. So a lot of the patterns are things that we associate with pleasure, but they're not giving us pleasure. It's a confusion. It's an emotional confusion. The pattern brings us pain and we're associating it with pleasure. So a lot of our patterns themselves are driven by pain. You see, it's this underlying pain that attracts more pain. It's this underlying, let's say, sadness or stress or boredom that attracts the sort of experience of going on your computer late at night and going to those adult websites, right? I don't know if I can say that on YouTube. I don't know if I can say the P word on YouTube. Right? How about doom scrolling, always on your phone, right? Everyone's always on their phone nowadays, utterly addicted to their cell phone. We're destroying our minds completely. What's going on here? We're bored, it's uncomfortable, maybe we're stressed, we're frustrated, and we just go on Instagram. We start scrolling away as a way to kind of get rid of that emotion. But again, that initial feeling drove us to this very compulsive behavior that is numbing us and making us just feel even worse. So this pain is attracting more pain. It's just a byproduct of a deep sense of disconnection from oneself, from life, from the present experience, from other people. It's a deep sense of disconnection from being, from existence, from what's going on right here. Right? We're trying to numb ourselves to our experience repeatedly, and it's horrible. And it's extremely painful. So the pain underlying the habit is something to pay attention to. What's driving you to be grabbing your phone all the time, to be going to those adult websites, to be eating junk food, right? You probably don't feel good before doing it. If you're truly happy, you probably wouldn't really want to be spending the whole day just on your phone or eating junk food or whatever kind of self-sabotaging habit you have. And our lives are full of them, especially when we live what Socrates called the unexamined life. We don't really look into ourselves deeply. We don't actually know ourselves deeply. We're just robots, essentially, just kind of mechanically going through life, and we believe that we're not mechanically going through life. We delude ourselves after. We actually just rationalize our lives to ourselves after. We just deny the fact that we're so unconscious, that we're so mechanical, that we're so robotic. And there's a part of you that knows it needs more out of life. There's a part of you that wants to self-actualize and self-transcend. There's a part of you that knows that this isn't just it. This isn't just what life is. It's not just this X, Y, or Z situation. Right? The avoidance of our pain creates more pain. Avoidance is fundamentally uncomfortable. To always be avoiding oneself takes a lot of energy. To actually have something inside of you that you want to avoid, it's not sustainable, and you're burning your very precious energy doing so. It's actually a lot more effortless and pleasurable to learn how to sit with discomfort and just be with it, attuning to it, listening to what it's trying to tell you, healing it, giving it the attention it needs. Because a lot of these are just inner child wounds. Right? This isn't a sort of unnecessary exposure to pain. This is more so looking at the pain inside of you that you just pushed down. It gets a lot more pleasurable to just be able to look at it fully and heal it rather than being stuck in those patterns of pain. Right? And we associate those patterns of pain with pleasure when in actuality, yes, they're painful. It's a lot more pleasurable to just sit and learn how to allow this stuff to come up and feel it, and to learn how to engage with life in such a way so that it's nourishing, so that the things you're doing in your life don't always drain you. The things you're doing in your life should feel energizing. They should feel refreshing. So there's got to be this desire inside of you to turn towards your experience rather than turning away from it, to turn towards what's going on inside of you, the thought, the emotion, where it is in your body, the tension, and learning to just feel it and then open up to it. Lucas, how do I open up to it? In the same way that you would open up your closed fist, right? You just do it. You just learn to open up in that area of your body where it's stored. It's always tense there. You just learn to let go and just screw it, open up. You gotta let go of control. You gotta let go of always trying to interfere with life. And from these deeper places of clarity, choose the things that energize you. Choose living life consciously, presently, being attuned to life, being in the body, rather than always coping, escaping, avoiding, etc. Right? Western society is literally full of this, avoiding, addictions, escaping. Our food is designed to make us addicted, right? Junk food, I can sum it all up with salt, sugar, fat, protein, and a ridiculous amount of this stuff. Super artificial, right? It's manipulating your biology to get you to crave it. Endless entertainment to just distract you and numb you. I don't really got to go on about that one anymore. So awareness of the painful pattern kind of auto-corrects it. The second you realize that, yeah, being on my phone all the time is painful. My mind feels numb and dull. I don't feel like I'm really achieving what I can achieve in life. I don't really feel like I'm living life to the fullest. Right? And what I mean by living life to the fullest and achieving all that you can achieve, it's not just external money and status, things like this, but it's more so to do with your consciousness and being in balance in your life so that life just feels good. I'm not really living up to my actual potential as a human being, and I can sense that there's something there to be living up to. But I'm always numb to it. Yeah, these patterns, these painful patterns, right, I don't want to be in them. Right? We got to shine our attention on the pure pain of it in order to start to shift it. And we want to avoid the pain. That's the whole point of the pattern, is to avoid. And what I'm saying in this video is to do the exact opposite, to make sure that you don't avoid. Right? What's the emotion driving you to be on your phone, to watch those adult videos on the internet, to always be distracted by a TV? Right? You got a lot of empathy. This is difficult stuff, especially when you're kind of confused about this stuff. But it gets far better the second you actually learn how to attune to your own pain and how to set up your life in a way so that you're actually just getting energy. How to set up your life in a way so that your habits, right, your morning routine, your work, it's nourishing stuff. Your relationships are nourishing rather than just like extractive and sickening. Right? You learn how to attune to your needs and get them met. And you build your life off of your actual human needs. your needs for connection and your need for alone time and reflection, your needs for healthy, nutritious food, your needs for exercise, your needs to feel meaning and purpose and create something and contribute to the world in a meaningful way, really, in a creative way, and to just be a part of a larger community, etc. Far more needs than that. Your needs for self-actualization, your needs for self-transcendence, your needs to just not do anything. I have an old video, something along the lines of the need for non-doing, something like that. Made it a few weeks ago. All right, so awareness of the painful pattern auto-corrects it. And then once you're kind of in this aware place, rather than in that sort of autopilot place, you can start to choose patterns that nourish you. You can start to choose the things that do not hurt you. You're choosing the actions that make you feel refreshed, rather than choosing the actions that make you feel like you're always losing energy. What are the patterns that make you feel like you're losing energy? I've talked about them in this video. Junk food, right? Those kinds of videos, you know what I'm talking about by now. Always being on your phone, right? Addictions, cravings, compulsions, etc. What are the actions that actually nourish you? Meditation, yoga, eating healthy foods, putting healthy information into your mind, reading, creative work, reflecting, journaling, connecting with others, doing work that you love, and having some healthy entertainment too, right? It's not this endless grind, this endless kind of like self-actualization isn't just like this endless grind, right? You can entertain yourself, but it's about what is going to nourish me in this moment. What action is going to make me feel the most alive in this moment? Maybe that's taking a nap. Maybe that's going for a run. Maybe that's meditating. Right? Maybe that's watching a movie with a loved one. Right? You can do that. But it's when things like endless entertainment, your phone, this all just becomes ways of coping with life. Now we got a serious problem. It's when that numb lifestyle pulls you away from the present experience and you no longer care about self-actualization. You don't care about self-transcendence. You don't care about truth. You don't care about your well-being. It's just your whole life starts to essentially kind of start going downhill. So that's it for this video. If you're interested in working with me one-to-one, you can apply to do so. Link is in the pinned comment. Take it easy.